What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the In the Dome podcast. First official video. Wait, we're on YouTube now?
Yes.
My favorite part of this is now I get to look at your facial expressions.
Well, it's weird because we used to do this in person, right? Remember that?
Side by side.
Then
Same office and everything.
Then we didn't see each other for like 3 years.
Well,
now
first
I have to look at
COVID,
you all the time.
first COVID happened, and we're like, fuck, I guess we're doing on Zoom. And it just became Zoom.
Yeah, I don't know about this whole thing. I'm much more comfortable criticizing people. That was the whole point of the show, is I could criticize people anonymously. Now
we can hide behind a microphone. Now we can't.
Not so much anymore. So,
all right, man. The Flames start 3-0, while simultaneously the Oilers go 0-3. As far as,
do you like that shit? Do you love that shit or what?
Other than Dustin Wolf not starting the season opener and Matt Coronado sitting out the first 2 games of the season, has this not gone flawlessly so far?
Oh, this is beautiful, dude. The vibes are off the charts.
They're immaculate.
I mean, this is like what we were expecting last season. Expectations are a weird thing. Last season, it was like everybody's shitting gold and stuff. Didn't really translate to on-ice performance, did it, early in the season? They absolutely, shit the bed to start the year last year? Terrible.
Well, would they go 2? Well, you had it up there, 2-7.
It was like 2-7-1 or something.
Yeah, but you and I were not expecting much out of this team last season. So it was no surprise to us.
Very little. This, however, is glorious.
This is glorious. I think, I don't know, we've talked about it. This Flames team comes in, they have zero expectation, zero pressure. They get to choose to pick and play the underdog card. And like we said, what was it, episode 1? If you look at the roster, man, we're not that bad, especially up front. We have the ability to score goals. We're probably going to be a bubble team, I think we said, to start the season. Look, it's so fucking early. Everybody sucks at the beginning of the season for a bit anyways, except for some teams get out to a hot start. But, you can't really read too much into the first, 3-4 weeks of the season. Teams are ironing out a lot of kinks, but, dude, it's pretty exciting hockey so far to watch.
You got to ride the wave, man. That's what we always say. Because people are going crazy right now, right? It's like, we got to sign Mantha. Oh, are we good? Are we good? I don't know. I don't think we're that good. I think a lot of people have underestimated how much skill the Flames have up front, like you said. Still a quality NHL roster, like you've seen.
Yep.
And when you're getting performances out of guys like Zary and Pospisil that you got last year, I think they're going to be better than a lot of people maybe give them credit for. At the same time, I'm not sitting here going, we're going to make the playoffs. Got to sign Mantha. Oh, sign all the UFAs. Ride the wave, baby. We're on a high right now. Enjoy it. It's not going to last forever.
You had, like you said, the skill levels there on paper, decent roster, to be honest. I think we said if we have even average goaltending this season, we should be sniffing for a playoff spot, maybe just outside. But that also scares me because I don't want to finish. I do not want to finish outside the bottom 10 as far as losing that first round pick to Florida goes.
Well, hey, Florida's Kachuk's. Maybe Florida finish below us and we'll all be good. I doubt it very much. But I agree with you. I hope, and I don't think it will, because we saw this play out last year too. Because I think the concern right now from a segment of Flames fans, like I'd put myself in there, is like we're always worried with how management is going to react to like the slightest bit of success. Because you kind of saw this last year, right? It was like they'd win a game and it's like, oh, they're back. Talks are back on with Hanifin. Talks are back on with Lindholm. They're going to sign all these guys because they won like 2 games in a row. We're back, baby. Hubie's got 2 points. We are back. There's no, oh shit, they just lost like 7 in a row. Yeah, we're not actually that good. So we're always worried as Flames fans about that, them looking to speed up a rebuild or expedite things. But I think given what Craig did last year and his track record of all the trades he made in the summer, we don't really need to worry about that. I think even if Flames do marginally better than people expect this year, Conroy is going to stick to the play. I hope he does anyways. Every time I see Don Maloney's face, I'm a little worried. I see him in those behind the scenes things and I'm just like, oh yeah, I forgot. There's still like the Emperor Palpatine let the delusion of a playoff spot run through you. And Conroy's like Luke Skywalker. He's just, no, trying to fight it. But I trust Craig to do the right thing this season. So, and we're just riding the high of beating the Oilers. So that's all I think we can do right now.
Well, I know that Connor has been pretty vocal about it. For sure, Huska has. The leadership group on this team has. There's a twofold mentality. Yes, Conroy is really building for the future, but the team and the roster and the coach for sure are their goals and expectations and vision is set on making the playoffs this season. That's their goal. It's interesting because we talk about on paper, we talk about what the roster looks like, the skill level, but then you also couple that with, the mindset, the mentality, the identity. I mean, Daryl came in here and really pushed identity. It's a term that's thrown around on a lot of NHL teams, and especially here in Calgary, right, with the whole lunchbox thing. But when Daryl left and Huska took over, and more so, I think, when Tree Living left and Conroy took over, there's been a lot of communication basically from the top down, from Conroy down, about mentality and this whole identity concept. And we're starting to see it in some of those, pregame, what were those videos called? The Flames,
like the preseason little like mini docu-series.
The little mini docu-series. You get to see how fucking awesome is that? It's so amazing to see as a fan of your favorite team in the world to actually get behind the scenes look at like that, like what the coach and the general manager are saying to the entire, like that room was packed. It was full of hockey players to start training camp, to see the message that top down is communicating to the players. And then they're executing right now. We'll see how long it lasts for. I know Huska has really communicated to this team. They want to be the hardest working team in the NHL. There's a few quotes we'll get to, but like Coronado preseason, he quoted that. Teams shouldn't take us lightly. We're going to be one of the hardest working teams to play against. After the win in Vancouver, Connor Zary, same thing. Something about,
it's like we feed off people talking negative about our team, and it's like, fuck you, we'll show you.
Quote right here: no quit. That's going to be our mentality all year. We're going to get knocked down, but we're always going to keep coming back. So this team, and I think the leadership group, the veterans in this group, it's my sense that they're spearheading this, but they're really taking this underdog thing to heart, which we've seen it in professional sports all the fucking time. It's a very valuable card to play if you do have any inch of skill that can compete. I mean, this league is already so competitive. The parity in this league is any team can win on any given night. So if you start coupling the hard work mentality, these guys are going to put in the effort, they're not going to be easy to beat, especially like the power play is finally clicking. Is this to end out last season, rolling into this season? Because it was 72 games until they put Uyghur on there last year. Some shit.
Well, you mean the second leading goal scorer amongst defensemen in the league at that point when they put him there?
Dude, that first year without Johnny Gaudreau and Matthew Tkachuk, so painful to watch. Then basically over 3/4 of the season last season, so painful to watch. Finally, when they get Uyghur on there, Kuzmenko is now kind of running it. It looked awesome to end the season. It's off to a hot start this season. But that's just another tool in this whole lunch bucket mentality. You can grind teams down. And now if you can actually fucking score a power play goal on a regular basis or in big moments of the game, I think it was after the Philly game, Huskas, because now if you look on the Flames website, they're doing these little in the dressing room clips after the game, but they're very short. But the one against Philly, I believe it is that Husky made a point. They won the game was won on the power play. And that's such a new thing for this for this team, especially as a Flames fan. You know how much pain and suffering it's been to watch the power play the last 2.5 seasons.
What, 2 power play goals in that game?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and I think it, like you said with Uyghur, but it obviously really shifted with the Kuzmenko addition. His skill is unbelievable. Like him. And hey, listen, it sounds like, I guess Cale McLean's been listening to the show, running the power play, because they've been doing that behind the net setup for how do you like that behind the net work with Kuzi and Huberto? That was sweet.
That was cool.
The Kadri goal.
I know that you were throwing this out there because who was it? Was it Tampa who was doing it? It was 3 seasons ago or something. You're like, why don't we try this? Why don't more teams try this? But now, yeah, you're seeing Kuzi and Huberto. It's kind of like instead of point to point, it's down, either side of the net, back and forth, trying to find open seams. But the power plays looked good.
It looks really good. And I mean, Huberto, he looks good too. And it's our annual, he's back conversation probably, but I mean, he's been not only good on the power play, he's been good 5-on-5 with his line mates. But, this identity thing is interesting because I'm usually kind of cynical about it. I know I was giving Huska a bit of a hard time last week with this like hard work bottom line thing and then not playing Coronado. But it rings true. Like Coronado saying teams are going to take us lightly and they're not going to be able to beat us. And this is the one thing I liked about Huska last year, as much as we were kind of critical of him. Like the Flames were never really out of games. And you saw that firsthand in that first Vancouver game. It was like, holy fucking shit. In the first 20 minutes, dude, everybody was like,
this is going to be a shit show of a season.
This is going to be bad. Like maybe I was like, yeah, I guess we are like as bad as San Jose and Chicago and those tank teams. Like I'm going to start watching James Hagen's highlights right now because we're picking in the top 3 for sure. But
well, dude, even last night, first 5 minutes of the Oilers game, I'm like, true. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Okay, now we're coming back down to earth here. Yeah. Like Oilers scoring right off the bat and you hear the fucking goal horn in Edmonton. You're just like, oh, fuck, here we go. PTSD kicking in.
Yeah. But it was like, and they did this in Edmonton last night too. The game never really got out of reach. They've been able to reel games back in. And as much as they didn't win last year, and I don't think they're going to win a lot this year either, games are always close. And I think that's a reflection of that. Not only the veterans leading the way, but also that kind of mentality, that identity. And, we're suckers for that shit. And it is so important because as much as Daryl changed things when he got here systems-wise the second time, we had been through so many coaches that it was like, there was no identity of the Calgary Flames from bookended by Hartley to Sutter. Maybe the Bill Peters team with the crazy offense, but you never really knew what the Calgary Flames were about. And to hear Daryl come in and talk so much about that and implement that and see the changes. And I know I talked about this when Huska was hired. And I'm not like the hugest Huska fan, but that is one aspect of his hiring that I really appreciated was that he did work with a guy like Daryl Sutter for so long that he knows the importance of implementing that identity for a team.
Yeah. Well, I know that there could be a lot of pushback, and I think it was grit, right? For the longest time, it was like we want to be hard to play against.
Yeah,
we want to have grit, and that was more so Brad Treliving just signing old.
It was like Lucic. Oh, we need Lucic. We lose to Colorado. We got to get Lucic. We got to be hard. It's like that's not you're missing. No. It's like you've identified a problem, but you're missing how to fix it.
You saw Treliving still going to that well last year with Ryan Reeves. He cost them game 1 and and it's just like, yeah, you want to be hard to play against, but you can't be bad. Being bad is easy to play against.
Well, dude, who's hard to play against?
Pospisil.
Pospisil is hard to play against. Why? He's skilled. He's fast. He's responsible. Good on the forecheck. Who's hard to play against? Ryan Lomberg, skilled. He's small, but he's fast. Like that's what you're seeing more of.
Right now, Mantha is playing like a fucking
Mantha's
beast.
a fucking beast. Who is this guy? That was a great game.
Like I remember when Daryl took over, right? There's that big adjustment season for the last third or quarter of a season after Ward was fired. But to start the next season, they came out of the gates just so dialed in.
Yeah.
Maybe partly due to actually having a workout routine issued to the players.
Well, dude.
Remember Johnny's like, yeah, what's different? Well, coach gave us a workout routine this offseason. That was kind of new.
It's funny you say that. I wanted to bring this up today because I heard Conroy on the Fan 960 this week talking about Huberdeau. They were like, we asked him to like modify his training routine this year. It's like, yeah, no, about freaking time, eh? As soon as I saw those balloons being blown, I could have made that call too.
Insane.
Make him focus on speed, like you said. What was he focusing on before? Not speed?
Blowing balloons. But I remember that. So the first few, what was a month of Daryl, when this team really, made a statement to the rest of the league of what they're going to be like to play against. I remember like we kicked the shit out of Boston, who was like top of the.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they win the President's Trophy the season before? And who was the coach at the time?
Was it still Jim Montgomery or was it Claude Julien back then? Might have been Julien.
No, it wasn't Julien. No, I think it was Montgomery. Whoever it was, he's like, those guys play big boy hockey.
Yeah.
We were like 4 games in the season. We're like, fuck, is it gonna be like this all season long? And it fucking was. So I think, yeah, you're probably right. Sutter should get a lot of credit for starting the whole identity crisis movement. But I think Conroy actually really has taken what was left with Sutter and has now evolved it. He still wants the lunch bucket mentality, but he also wants the boys to be having fun. He wants people that want to play here, that enjoy being here. He wants the guys to enjoy coming to the rink every day. And right now, it's like the perfect combination with the whole underdog approach. Seems to be working. We'll just see how long it can last for. Like you said, as soon as the regular season starts, the wheels start turning and it's a bit of a slog, then teams are better prepared. Like right now, like you said, teams more than likely are taking it lightly on the Flames coming into the game. But
Vancouver shit-canned us. They probably are like, yeah, we're going to cruise to this, and the Flames fight their way back. I think the Oilers probably are taking everybody lightly because Oilers always do this.
Dude, they do this like how do McDavid and Draisaitl not look tired?
Dude, doesn't this happen every year? Like if they don't dominate the game, the Oilers like don't really have much.
Draisaitl and McDavid basically have to carry 82 games of the season, maybe 80. But if they're not producing the offense for 80% of the games, 80 games out of 82, not 80%, then the team just doesn't win. So you got to think it's got to get tiring.
You think, dude? Connor, and again, like Connor, look, hey, he shaved his neck beard. He's looking a little better. Maybe he's been listening.
Still looks like Skeletor.
Been listening to the show, but he looks so malnourished. Like, I don't know. Help that poor. I'm starting to feel bad for him at this point.
Dude.
Poor guy.
Don't ever.
Good point.
We had a Thanksgiving dinner last night and the game was on. And I can't remember who it was, but Connor was on afterwards and someone was like, he doesn't look well.
He never looks well. He's always all
and
red.
This is not someone that listens to the podcast. It is,
an asshole.
Here's us what we have to say about him. This is like a kind of a third party outsider. It's like, doesn't look very well. No, he doesn't.
Oh, he's played. How many minutes has that guy played in the last 8 years? Draisaitl too. They're tired, man.
Oh, and it's like come from behind hockey, double shift these guys, get us back into it. Yeah. So awesome to beat the Oilers and have the Oilers go 0-3. I mean, there's only 2 things that really bring us pleasure in the sports. It's Flames winning and Oilers losing. So
when they happen on the same day, it's beautiful. Beautiful thing. Well, it was so funny because I was like, I don't know, as I do, taking the piss out of the Oilers on social media. But I heard Ron say it like, because Saturday night, the Flames win. They played a very good game against Philly, but the Oilers lost to Chicago. And of course, like after the game, they're not talking about the Flames game. They're all like hobnobbing about the Oilers and hand wringing. And Ron McLean's like, oh, I think the best thing for him is for have Calgary come to town, eh? Best thing. They're going to come to town. They're going to be ready. Whoa, we shit can them. Well, we didn't shit can them, but we beat them.
McLean said that?
Yeah, he's like, oh, it's going to be the best thing to get the Oilers out of this funk. I saw another article.
Spectre. It was Spectre also.
Yeah, I saw the
Chicago, don't worry, the Oilers lost,
Yeah.
got absolutely shit canned 6-0 to the Jets to open up the season, but it's okay. They got Chicago and Flames, next two games. Couldn't have two. What did they say? Couldn't have two more lesser dangerous teams to right this ship with. They do this every year, dude.
Every year.
They do it every year. And like, honest to God, if you watch the body language on Connor and Leon, it's just like they're just like, holy fuck, we have to do literally everything for 82 games just to get to the playoffs. It's beautiful to watch.
It's going to be interesting to see, man, because we know they're going to turn it on at some point, go on some crazy streak. But
look, it's a playoff team no matter what.
Yeah, we'll see how they perform once they get to the
anytime
playoffs.
They're faltering, it's just, rubbing the hands and enjoying.
And everybody's on Skinner again. It's going to be funny. It's going to be super fun to watch.
How'd you like that slash to the back of...
Dude, they were in full...
This is what they're reaching for, eh? This is the low point of the season where they're reaching for... That's like a fucking love tap.
I'm watching it right now. It's like... What did Stewart, is Mike Smith still on their payroll? Are they still paying him? They must be. I think they are. He's still on like LTIR or something. They must be just putting him to work, like working with Stewart on his... that's how you dive. That's how you dive. Mike's their diving coach.
And then Zari.
Yeah.
What is he doing? And then they were complaining after the period, him and Ekholm. So it's like, these losers, do they have anything better to do than try and milk penalties, milk power plays?
Well, Leon got that penalty, and every time they show him, he's beaking off to the official. Dude, the best part about that Amazon series featuring McDavid and Dressel and Chucky and all them is like there's this part on the ice where it's in the finals, and Chucky goes, McDavid's whining to the ref, and Chucky goes up to him. He's like, "The fuck are you bitching about now?" It's like, yeah, that's exactly right.
Such a beauty. That's a good series so far. I'm only on episode 3, but
I found the Nylander Pasternak episode kind of boring.
I thought that one was great. I found the second one kind of boring with Pasta and... Oh, no, Pastor Nylander was good.
Pastor Nylander, I don't know.
Who is episode 2?
I don't know, Forsberg maybe?
Oh, yeah, Forsberg and Eichel. Not as good as episode 1. I don't know.
I pine for the days of 24/7 because, listen, this is cool that the NHL is doing this. I love behind-the-scenes stuff, but there was like a moment... Remember when they used to do those 24/7 series? Like Road to the Winter Classic? And it was kind of before, like... It was like a before time when, like, they... weren't scared of like showing everything. Like they're showing a lot, but it's like they showed and there's like that great Bruce Boudreau rant. He's like, "Oh, I can't fucking
surely the fuck we can deal with this."
Like that's what I like that show. So
that was Sid and Ovi mostly at those times, wasn't it?
Yeah, those are Sid, Ovi, Sid versus Giroux. They're great.
All right, let's get into some of the breakdown of the 3 games. So, like you said, the Vancouver game starts. The first period, you're like, holy shit. What was it, 4-1 after the first period or some shit? 3-1.
It was 3-0.
We were just getting shit canned.
It was bad.
And you're sitting there, you're like, holy fuck, this is going to be a long season. But at least maybe we will be picking top 5. And then they totally turned the game around. 4 unanswered goals. To come back in the third period, and you're just like, holy shit, what are we watching? TJ Backlund comes down and botches the 2-on-1 on the empty net.
Backlund?
Classic. Yeah, classic Backlund. You got an empty netter, 2-on-1.
Like Backlund?
And instead of passing the puck over, doing anything but shooting it directly at, who was it? Quinn Hughes. And then Quinn Hughes, moves the puck up the ice. TJ Miller comes down, scores, ties it up. But man, what an exciting game! What a fun game! Zari scores an absolute banger of a goal to win it. Like you said, that was like one of the nicest goals.
That's one of the nicest goals I've ever seen. Like when's the last rush? And Zari was doing this last year too. Remember his first game against Dallas, and he makes that like crazy rush that he almost scored on. It's like those are the things that like we'd see Johnny do once in a while.
Yep. 100%.
I never see guys go end to end like that.
And that's the conversation that we're talking about of skill level, right? You want to get high end talent. Zary is fucking talented. He is very skilled.
He's sneaky skilled. I don't think anybody really. I didn't expect him to be like able to execute at the NHL level in the way he has.
Mantha has a shorthanded goal, ends up getting a Gordie Howe hat trick, fights TJ Miller. Did you like this? Had so many cool storylines to make it a fun, entertaining game, especially if you're on the side of the Flames. But like TJ Miller, I thought it was a clean hit on the Rune Dog. Rune Dog goes down, obviously concussed. But you love the response.
Dude, okay. Let's talk about this because I love the response. I know you love the response. I know everyone that I talk to love the response, but I have seen kind of like, oh, we got away. They shouldn't have been like going after trying to fight. Fuck that. That was exactly what they needed to do, man. Establish it game one. Oh, they're getting away from their game. They're trying to get revenge.
What game?
The game turned because of the fight.
The game is don't fuck with us. Don't take us lightly. Don't try to push us around. We will not stand for any of that.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly like this identity thing. That's what we're talking about. That's what we want to see.
So I agree with you 100%, and I disagree 100% with whoever was saying that. I didn't see any of that. But
if we lose that game, I'm still happy with that response because it's a don't, like you said, it's a signal. Do not fuck with us.
We've said this so many times before. It's like, even when we had Regeer on it, and Regeer's like, yes.
Yeah.
We're like, there's only one thing better than beating a team is beating their asses while beating them. We kind of did that to Edmonton last night, especially in the second half.
Dude, I love that we're like big.
Sandpaper. We're going to beat you with sandpaper.
Yeah, and I hope this continues. But like some of the additions, like Mantha, big. I didn't expect him to play physical like he has been.
I know. It's early.
It's early.
I haven't seen a lot of Mantha play before, but obviously, he comes off of playing in the Vegas Golden Knights organization for a cup of coffee, which they're winners over there. So he's bringing some value, and fuck yeah, you're right. Skilled and big. He fights. I was not expecting to see him fight.
Me neither. And I love JT Miller. I think that was a great bow between two big boys.
Love JT. I love how JT at first, for the first bit, he's like, why are you fucking around with me? It was a clean hit. And then all of a sudden, JT's like, fuck it. Okay, whatever. I got to fight. Let's fight. Let's do this. They fight. Then everybody moves on.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, fighting is beautiful. That's why you like it so much. And I thought it was a clean hit. I thought maybe the Rune Dog should have been, I don't know, you got to be ready for that, I guess.
It's just an unfortunate.
He was in an invulnerable spot. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But I love the Flames' response. You're getting shit canned physically and on the scoreboard. Great response.
Like you said, turn the game around, really.
And then, dude, like, I know Rass has been...
Oh, so good.
Fuck, has he been good.
Dude, how good was he last night?
He was so good last night. He made McDavid look like an absolute fool on that goal he scored. But he scores a great goal in Vancouver to get them within 2. And then, dude, Martin Pospisil is becoming my favorite Flame.
What do you mean becoming? He already is.
I didn't know if he was going to be able to carry on the momentum from last season into this season.
He sure as shit has.
Dude, I love this. I love this goal box score. Pospisil from Mantha and Kevin Ball. 3 big boys going to work, eh?
I've been loving Kevin Ball's game, especially last night against the Oilers. I didn't realize he was so big, man. Like, he's big.
Well, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like,
he's physical.
He's physical. Exactly.
Big players should be physical because a lot of times they're, if they're skilled at least, they're not necessarily physical. They're just like, fuck, man, if you were physical with that size and the skill, you'd be untouchable.
Well, and you can see, like you said, like the Connie kind of vision for the team, like Ball, Mantha, Braden Pahal, Lomberg.
Pahal plays mean.
Pain in the ass to play against.
There was a shift within the last 5 minutes of the game where McDavid was coming down the wing and Pahal's just takes a run at him. And I'm just like, fuck yes. Because we haven't necessarily seen a lot of that with this Flames team across the league as a whole. But that's always been our thing, is like, no respect.
Yeah.
Do not give this guy any respect. We give these guys way too much respect in the past 5 seasons. Saw it with Coleman last year.
Yeah.
Throwing
him around.
McDavid down to the ice. Pospisil had a nice hit on McDavid early in the game. Just loving it. Sandpaper. I want to beat you with sandpaper. That was enjoyable to watch.
And then, dude, Jonathan Huberdeau scores to put them ahead with like 9 minutes left. What world are we living in?
4 points?
He really redeemed himself after that.
You're probably talking about the Vancouver game.
I'm talking about Van.
Okay.
But because obviously, like, the first period was rough. But then, like, did you see him put that pass? And it's like a 2-on-0, him and Zary down low. Puts it right into his skates.
Yeah. There's been a few moments where
it's like 4-1. He's doing that. You're just like, we are so finished. And then to go from we are so finished to we are so back. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I don't think nobody, let's be honest, nobody saw us scoring 4 unanswered goals to take the lead in that game and ultimately come back and win that game. So, again, testament to the division and the identity piece that we can just keep on bringing up.
A good poll from our friend of the show, Fiery Sharky on Twitter. That was the first Flames 4-goal comeback since October 31st, 2019, when Matthew Tkachuk went to town and scored probably the greatest goal of all time in NHL history in overtime.
Oh, that's why that was circulating, because that was a 4-goal comeback.
4-goal comeback.
Well, Matchsticks and Gasoline tweeted before the game.
This was crazy too.
A fun fact, the Flames have not won. We knew that they haven't won a home opener in like forever.
Well, they won the home opener that first year Hubie was there, but that had broken like an insane streak too.
It was like 13. It wasn't like 13. That was the
something
longest.
Stupid.
No, it was the second longest streak in all pro sports.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It was only like the Cleveland Browns or some shitty football team that was worse. But Flames had not won a season opening road game since 19. It felt like 1986. 12, 2-2. 12, 2-2 in the last 16 attempts. That's insane.
That's the most Flames stat I've ever heard.
And then, obviously 20 minutes into the game, you're like, oh, fuck. Not only is that record going to continue, but man, this season does not look fun. Turn that around.
Dude, it's the epitome of that meme of like, we're so finished, we're so back. I have a feeling this season's going to be a lot of we're so finished, we're so back, up and down. But like I said, you got to ride the wave.
I thought Sean Bradley had the tweet of the day after the Vancouver game. Hockey gods get them for the TJ chance or the JT chance.
Yeah.
What did you think of this?
That was
this
brutal.
Pissed people off. I think this is very unclassy. There's a guy literally injured on the ice. They brought a stretcher out onto the ice.
And they're going, JT Biller. That was brutal.
I think they were doing that before the stretcher came up, but still not classy. Hey. That's not something you do when a player is literally, unless it's like McDavid or like playoffs or something like that. If it's McDavid or Draisaitl, I'll have at her.
These are
But it's the Rune Dog, man. A fourth line center, opening game of the season. Just chill.
Fuck, that's
chill, Vancouver fans.
They burned their city down, man. I don't think it's kind of their MO.
Yeah. No, Vancouver fans are not as bad when the rivalry's not there. It's when the rivalry's there that they are become the worst.
Their true character shines through pretty quick.
Big time. I love Tockett's quote post game. He said Calgary played like they wanted it more and they played faster than us.
Yeah, that's goddamn. I'm surprised at how quick we are too. Like, we looked a bit sluggish in the neutral zone and stuff. I think maybe in all 3 games, but pretty quick, actually.
That is music to my ears. Hearing the opposing team's head coach saying that the Flames wanted it more than their team, and they were faster. Remember how slow we were for like those 3 seasons?
Lucic lumbering down the left wing.
Fucking painfully slow. Like we said, the Oilers lose 6-0 on that opening night.
That was awesome.
Too. So you're leaving that game one just feeling amazing. Connor Zary had a monster night.
Dude, he was an absolute beast.
In game one.
He's playing on the wing, which is like, maybe when they start losing, I'll start complaining about that. But
right now, like the Pospisil center project with Huberdeau and Math right now, is that the best line in the NHL and after week 1 of hockey?
Dude. We'll talk.
I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding. That's probably one of the best lines right now in the league.
It's the best Huberdeau's looked maybe outside of the first couple weeks he was here, for sure. He's been so, like... And I don't know if it's just because Pospisil stirs that line, obviously. And I'm surprised at how
100%.
well he's playing center. I know he played center in the American League, but
I agree.
My preference would have been to try Zary there first, just with the skill and the way he moves the puck. But man, when Pospisil gets in on the forecheck, he's just so smart and so solid, so good.
He just continues to impress. Pospisil. He's driving that line, and that line right now is looking fucking deadly because of it.
They freaking had that shift where they ended up with the Mantha goal in the Oilers game.
Yeah. It was like, what, almost 90 seconds?
Well over a minute. And that's they dominated. They had the puck on a string. It was going cross ice all over the place. That's the best I've seen Huberdeau on the ice creating in-zone offense for the Calgary Flames since he's been here. It was crazy good shift.
And then again, it's Pospisil with the primary assist, and that is just a smart player. You throw it on the net because you know Mantha's there for the rebound. He's just throwing it. That's the most dangerous play he could have made.
Well, dude, and in the Vancouver game on the OT goal, I know Zary makes the unbelievable skill play, but that is all Pospisil right there. He clears that lane. Nobody knows what he's doing. He just barrels to the net like an absolute animal. Open that right up for Zary.
So Zary, after the Vancouver Canucks game-winning goal, 2 primary points, 77.78% shots for. I had to ask you what the shots for metric's all about, which is anytime Zary was on the ice against Vancouver, out of all the players, right, not just Calgary.
Just on the Flames.
So this stat doesn't count for the entire – it doesn't count against the opposition as well?
So percentage stats like this, like shots for, goals for, expected goals for percentage is just an expression of the percentage of shots for and against the players on the ice for. So like against Vancouver, Zary was on the ice for 7 shots for and on the ice for 2 shots against. So 78% rounded up.
Okay. And then an 8.809 expected goals for. It's like fucking Connor McDavid-esque, man. That's that's insane.
They dominated at 5-on-5 when they were on the ice.
Anything else from like a metrics standpoint that like stood out to you on that first game against Vancouver?
Well, again, not even a metrics thing, just the fact that they reeled that game back in when it looked like it was totally out of control. Because that's the one thing that impressed me last year from Huska. They never got really embarrassed too badly. Things were always within reach. The games were close.
Yeah, I would say, I don't know the actual stat, but I would like to say that at least 80% of the games that they lost, they had the empty net trying to tie it up late.
It was a lot of 1-goal games last year. And that doesn't seem like much, but it's like you're trying to form this identity for this team that still wants to be, we're kind of get cynical about it, be like, oh, they just want to make the playoffs. But I really do think it's Craig, like, knowing what it takes and knowing how identity is so important to a team.
And Weegar had the power play goal in game 1.
Boy, did he.
And that's the game-tying goal. Like, that's huge. This is what we've been missing in the last few seasons. The power play has not been good enough to get you back into games or to help you secure games.
Dude, it hasn't been good to help you do jack shit.
And when that's the case, it does the opposite. Infuriates the fans. You lose all momentum when you're on the power play. Like, that, it was so bad until like game 72 last season. Like, painful.
And then it was like top 10 for the last 10, 12 games.
Special teams. So, yeah, Mantha has a shorthanded goal. That was nice, eh? First goal of the season.
That was insanely nice. Yeah. I just wanted to point out that Mackenzie Weegar, only one player this season, last season, has more goals than him amongst defensemen, and it's Roman Josi. That's at all strengths. So top 5D in goals.
How about
start of last season to this season? Josi, Weegar, and Makar, Dahlin, Bouchard. Is that good? I think that's pretty good,
dude. He's going under the radar. Can we get some Weegar airtime? Ron McLean?
Is he still he's still one of the most underrated defensemen in the entire league, easily.
Does Ron McLean even know who he is?
Dude, he's too busy fucking reciting poems and telling anecdotes about like some small town in Alberta and how it relates to Connor McDavid.
Exactly.
And then I went down to, have you ever been down to Standard? I was in Standard this weekend. Standard a place in Alberta? I think that's a place. I was in Delia, and there's tumbleweeds, and there's long grass, and I met this guy, and he said McDavid. Oh, and then he wrote me this poem about McDavid. I'd like to read that poem on air. Fuck.
Just shut up already.
Shut up and talk about how good Weegar is.
Tell us how good Mackenzie Weegar is.
Idiot.
I pulled the fan base after the game on Twitter. This is kind of a fun thing. I might keep doing this. But who was the Flames player of the game after the Vancouver game? I thought Zari was the best player. He probably was from a metric standpoint. But Mantha won the vote.
Yeah, he had a huge impact on it.
He was like the Gordie Howe fight. I mean, you can't really, there's no metric for that impact on a game. But for your first debut as a Calgary Flame, fuck.
Win the fan base over. Change, and it's for him to score on that. And that's the thing. He's got superb skill, and he sets up the possible goal too. So huge game.
The only thing that really bothered us, a lot about game one was Dustin Wolf not getting the start. We should probably discuss this. And it's one of those things where, there's a lot of pushback. There's a lot of arguing with my own fan base, which I hate to do more than anything. That's like the thing I hate most about going online is arguing with the people I cheer with. But, the standard kind of response is chill out. It's game one. It's early. Be patient. This and this and that. And I get that. But I think we talked about this on the episode before the season started. Was just like, if they start Vladar, that sends a message, right? And he wasn't great in game one. And maybe like somebody tweeted, I forget who it was, but they said it's okay because that means Dustin Wolf will start the home opener, and then Vladar will start the second half of the back-to-back, which is the only goaltender that seems to be able to beat the Oilers, and maybe it'll all be even out from there. But I know that Huska was asked about the goaltending, I think after game one. And I'm not sure who asked him, but it seems to be there is some consensus among Flames fans that would prefer to see Dustin Wolf getting more starts than Vladar. And I don't really know what the breakdown is that makes me happy, but I would like to see Vladar getting the benefit of the doubt, or sorry, Dustin Wolf getting the benefit out over Vladar. You were pissed. You told me you were ready to burn the city down if Vladar started game two.
I don't think I said burn the city down. I said like something about grabbing Huska's bald head or something like that.
Right.
And hey, you called it. I wasn't expecting this. This is how much I was expecting them just to roll with Wolf, because last week you were like, they're probably going to start Vladar. And I was like, no way.
They couldn't. They wouldn't.
They couldn't. They wouldn't. They did. And I was pissed.
Shouldn't.
They shouldn't. I mean, listen, like you said, I don't like to argue with my own Flames fans. I argue with enough people. We should all be one big happy family. But sometimes you really piss me off. And this is one instance where it really pisses me off because, like you said, what message did I send? And at the end of the day, I don't really care what anybody else thinks or what message it sends or anything. I want to see Dustin Wolf play. I don't give a shit. I want to play him 82 straight. I don't care. I don't care. How old is he now? Like, gotta be. I'm annoyed. I was annoyed last year with the white glove. Like, we gotta be careful with Dustin Wolf. Play him. Who gives a shit, dude? Get him in every single game. You can get him in. He's won every award at every single level. He's proven everybody wrong at every single level. He's 23 now, which I guess is still pretty young. But come on. I wanted him. He should have played game 1 and 2 and give Vladar the Oilers. That's how I view it. He should be your guy. He should know he's your guy. He was great in training camp. I don't think Vladar was particularly good in training camp. It's like, did I say this last week when I was bitching about Coronado? What was I complaining about? I get it, but I don't like it.
Yep.
I understand the reasoning. I understand. Got to be careful. We got to give Vladar games. You can't disrespect Vladar or something. I don't care. great. That's stupid to me, but I understand it. I still don't care. I want to see Dustin Wolf play. At the end of the day, I'm a fan, and I want to see this kid play.
And a lot of it comes back to this whole vision thing, right? Under Tree Living, we had no vision, and it infuriated us, especially when we were in, out. And his comment was always, no, I believe in the group. That's why I didn't add. And then the off season, it's the opposite. It's like, oh, I believe in the group. That's why I'm adding. That's why I'm blowing all of our fucking money on these free agents. That's why I'm overpaying in free agency. It's because I believe in the group. So, I mean, you were on the Tree Living lack of vision since day one. Ultimately was not only his demise, but ours. He kickstarted the rebuild. It wasn't the Oilers. But so now that you have a GM come in and give us a clear vision, one that actually makes sense, one that we can all agree with, and then he's taking the actions that support the vision by selling off all the free agents last season, getting an absolute haul for Lindholm. How many trades did he make? We got so many first-round picks
coming out of our buttholes, man.
Of our yin-yangs, and it's just like, finally. And so then you start the season and the head coach starts Vladar over Wolf. And it's just like, no, the vision is not to be good this year. The vision is to be good in 3 years. Why isn't Coronado playing? You want to use this time. This season should be 30% a development season so that in 3 years from now, the players that are going to be leading this team in 3 years have had development time and are that much further along.
How about it's 100% development season? Mix in the veterans are working hard and instilling this identity into these young guys who are going to be leading this team to greatness, hopefully in 3 to 5 years.
Look, there's an argument there. I agree with you. Or I would say, give me at least 80-20. Give me 80%. We're rebuilding. We're developing. 20% if we go on some miracle run. All we've been saying is losing it. Entertain us while losing. It's fun to win. Like, I don't know. It's way too early to say that the Flames are going to surprise people all season long. But I know it kind of confirms that what we've been saying is that, like, we're not actually that bad.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't even really have a great argument for this point other than I want to see him play. I wanted to see him play last year. It pissed me off how little he played last year. Every
Scoronado
time down the stretch.
Or Wolf?
Well, Coronado too, but Wolf primarily right now.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, Markstrom starting again. It's like, we're out of the playoffs. Fucking start him. Oh, he's
not mathematically. We're not. We're not 6 feet under yet.
I'm just excited about these kids, and I want to see them. That's all. Yeah. I think that's pretty fair. I want to see them, and there's no reason why and no offense to Dan Vladar, he's done a hell of a job, and he always beats the Oilers. So props, fuck you out of that.
Well, especially when half of I
want to see Wolf. I have no interest in seeing Vladar very often. That's
especially when half the argument is like, oh, because you don't want him to ruin his confidence.
Yeah, like
you don't want him. People are like, oh, you don't want him to get shelled against the Canucks.
Yeah. Oh, he can't play. He got shelled
against the Philadelphia Flyers in first period. Was it 25 shots? Did pretty fucking damn well.
He looks pretty good out there. Remember, he got absolutely shit canned by the Sharks and everyone last year, and everyone was like, oh no, this is the end. Dustin, his confidence is fucking, he's done.
This is why you don't ever play him. Yeah, because he's fucking never fragile.
Wrap him in bubble wrap and put him in a.
He's like a glass house.
Dome. It just drives me insane. I just want to see the kid play. I think he's earned it. I think he's sitting there stewing. And the thing about his confidence is Dustin Wolf has confidence seeping out of his butthole, as far as I can tell.
How do actually good players gain confidence? By playing.
And that's
how else can you get confident by just sitting on the bench? Is it possible?
I don't believe so. I think it's the opposite effect.
You can stay positive while sitting on the bench, but you cannot get confidence because you're not doing shit. Put him out there. He did a great job. He looked good against the Flyers.
He looked excellent. He held them in there in the first period. The shots were insane after the first period. He looks great. I just look at how other organizations do it, and I'm like, and again,
100%.
It's been 3 fucking games. He's played one of them. I wish he'd played 2, so I'm really nitpicking here. But
yeah, but we're going back to last season too.
I'm going back to last season too because that Kochetkov guy who plays for Carolina, who was also drafted in the same year, as Wolf, who doesn't have even near the same amount of accolades as Dustin Wolf, and he's older, so I understand that. But still, like he played like half the games for the Hurricanes last year, and he's looks pretty good. I just wanted, this is kind of my argument with Coronado too, is like his peers are playing. Why isn't he playing?
Well, what was the tweet you said? It was like Dustin Wolf is the same age as Skinner, or what? How'd that
well,
thing
dude,
go?
what is Skinner 2 years older?
Skinner's 2 years older.
Stuart Skinner's 2 years older, so he's 25. He turns 26 in November, so he does have the November birthday. So for all intents and purposes, let's say he's like
Skinner's the same age as Wolf is now when Skinner was the number one netminder.
He was drafted in 2017. Wolf was drafted in 2019. For all intents and purposes, they're 2 years apart in terms of where they would be in their development. So like Skinner was playing 50 games 2 years ago. He played 50 games in 22, 23, 59 last year. Like, and I hope Wolf's playing that, but I'm just saying I want him in there.
Well,
and it's like the first 3 games have been super fun, but like we talked about in this season preview, pretty much the number one reason I want to watch the Calgary Flames this year is to watch Dustin Wolf. So it's taking away from my viewing experience.
Exactly. You compare where they are on a prospect chart. Compare Skinner to where he was 2 years ago to where Dustin Wolf is. Who's the bigger prospect?
Well, what is Wolf? Wolf is like the most highly regarded goaltending prospect in the league, maybe outside of the kid in San Jose now.
Dude, if he was 6'5", he'd have already played 2 full seasons.
Dude, if he was 6'2", he already would have.
6'2". So just fucking put him in there.
Put him in, and I'll shut up.
He looked good. He's got how about his mask with the Johnny Gaudreau tribute on the back?
Beautiful. And I mean, listen, I think that's another reason it's so fitting because like I haven't cheered as hard for, been as psyched for, been ready to have like watch a prospect like this with Dustin Wolf than I have been since Johnny Gaudreau. Like he's the next guy for the Flames that I'm like super stoked to watch.
Let's segue to game 2. Home opener. There's a Johnny Gaudreau tribute. Johnny Gaudreau's family comes on and reads a special message to the Flames fan base, thanking them for all their support. You're like, I know you and I are the same. I'm staring at Guy the whole time. I'm just like, man, when we did, what was it? When we watched Johnny Gaudreau's funeral, having to watch Guy get carried out because he can't even fucking walk, and then having to watch him. He's just a shell, man. I just wish that the team would have had the whole family there for the home opener. It's nice. I think he's in
he's in Columbus right now. He was at their, I think he was helping out with their morning skate today, which is pretty cool.
He's on the ice in Columbus.
Yeah. So but man, it was tough, man.
Yeah, but obviously, awesome tribute.
Oh, it was totally awesome. Whoever came up with that idea to light up the spots where he scored the goals on the Saddle Dome ice, that was so good.
That was awesome. And all I can kind of take away and say is like keep
it coming.
Keep praying for that family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They need it.
Yeah. He needs all the support.
And it was it was Monty's 30th birthday the other day. And he scored a goal and had 2 assists in his first game as a Blue Jacket. Heck yeah, Monty. But I saw he was over with baby Johnny after the game. It's pretty cool, but just heartbreaking, man.
And the Columbus Blue Jackets are now, I'm sure most of you listening have seen this already, but I'll say it anyways. The Jackets this season are instead of like a hard hat or whatever teams do, they're doing a donkey hat because Johnny would always come with donkeys. So if you're the hardest working player or the player of the game, like Monahan got the donkey hat for game 1. It's freaking awesome.
It's awesome.
Darren Haynes posted this after the Philly game.
Oh, dude, this was awesome.
On the night Johnny Gaudreau's legacy was honored, Jonathan Huberdeau scored twice to become the first Flame to put up a 4-point night at the Saddledome since April 16th, 2022, when this Gaudreau goal, he posted the goal with his parents, Guy and Jane in attendance, gave him the identical 2 goals, 2 assists, 4-point stat line.
Dude, that was awesome. It was awesome enough to see Huberdeau have a good game, and I know we give him shit all the time, but that was so cool. It was.
How about this? Sorry to cut you off, but I gotta say
Let's hear it. Let's go.
You will forever loathe, despise, detest Mike Smith for ruining Jerome McGinn tonight. Huberdeau fucking made Johnny Gaudreau tribute night. Made it.
And I'll forever be grateful for him.
Forever. He's your new favorite player, right?
That's a great point. I mean, like, honestly, if he keeps this up, this is the Huberdeau we thought we were getting.
What's he on pace for?
Well, dude, he's got 6 points already. It took him, 11 games to get to that last year and, 10 the year before. He's on pace for, He's got 6 and 3. 2 points per game, 160 points.
I like you put this in the stories. Huberdeau has
4
times as many points in the Philadelphia game as he had all of December last season.
All of December.
Boy, not blowing balloons really paid off so far.
Let's go, Hubie. Let's go. The thing is, you go back, you listen to those first few episodes when he was here, dude. We were so stoked. We were like, "Fuck yeah, so Hubie, let's go." I want to cheer for you, man. And you're making it easier with performances like this. But
this is the thing about the podcast. Is this when you suck, you'll hear about it.
Yeah.
When you're good, you'll hear about it.
That's right.
So if you don't want to hear about it, don't suck. We're not actually dicks. We're just saying what's going on. We are kind of dicks, but
I'm kind of a dick. Yeah.
You're a major dick.
Yeah.
Philadelphia game. Huberdeau just blows the socks off the joint. Pospisil fights. Pospisil had another fucking great game.
Pospisil was an absolute monster in that game, dude. You go back to that stat last year where they were 3-12-1 with him out of the lineup, and whatever they were 24-12 or something with him in the lineup. It's just I love this guy.
Yeah, my current favorite Calgary Flame player. He's one of those guys you kind of alluded to it earlier. You're just can he continue doing this? And then he just dominates. And it's one of those things where it's just you know how you hear that quote, his reputation precedes him? This is the opposite.
Yeah.
It's when is he going to be recognized? And I don't think he's there yet, but it's in the making. What's going to happen is one day we're all going to wake up and half the league is going to recognize that this guy is a fucking baller.
Tinted visor. Is he the MVP? He's getting Huberdeau back on track. He's hitting McDavid. Dude.
Let's be honest, man. The number one reason why Huberdeau is clicking right now is Math has been great too, but Pospisil he is driving that line.
Which, listen, Craig
doing it in the centerman position.
I really appreciate this from Craig Conroy, and I was kind of I was goofing on it a little bit in the offseason because we've had the conversation before. Who's gonna unlock Huberdeau? It's he's played with everybody, but Conroy was talking. He was he had his best season in his career in Florida. Sam Bennett's his center. Martin Pospisil plays the same way Sam Bennett plays. It's a great recognition of personnel and who you have and where to place them in the lineup by the Flames management group.
Fucking rights, Connie. So what is he? What is he 94 for 94 now, or
Connie? Oh, he's batting 1,000. He's perfect. Pospisil 2 primary assists in that game. He had 4 hits, a fight, over 80% expected goals, 4% of 5-on-5.
Insane.
He was the best player. He was great.
He wasn't better than Huberdeau, but he was.
Wolf stole the show to start. He was great. He was awesome in the first period. What were the shots after the first? Insane.
I think they had at least 18 to I think they might be up in the 20s actually.
I'll pull it up right now. First period, I guess it wasn't 19-9.
It's 20 shots in one period, man. What do you mean?
20 shots in one period is pretty good.
And it was there was a lot of rubber coming out of him. It's not like
Dustin Wolf's a stud, man. And this is going back to why I want to see him play. It's just because he's so good. Like, not to get ahead of ourselves, but he's so elite, dude, at covering the bottom of the net. They were talking about that on the broadcast. They were just like, fuck, like he's so good on his feet. He's so good post up. Like his movement's always been great. His anticipation is so great. He's just so good down low. And sometimes you're going to beat him up high because he's just small. But beating Dustin Wolf, like, unless you're going a 2-on-1 pass back wide open net, it's hard to beat him going cross ice.
Well, the goals that Philly scored, he had like zero chance on.
No chance on. So he was awesome.
Holy shit, we have 3 nights off coming up.
What is with this schedule?
You got 2 games in the next 7 days. Well, 8.
Dude, the schedule sucks.
2 games in 8 days.
It's beautiful. It's great. Totally kill our vibe, eh?
Kill the vibe. I'm just pulling up just to wonder where Wolf might be. What are they going to split the next 2? Wolf better start the next game against Chicago. That's all I got to say.
I go Wolf Chicago. Oh, this sucks. And why do we play such boring ass teams? I guess Bedard. I don't want to play Seattle and Winnipeg and Carolina.
And Pittsburgh got Sid coming.
It's so boring. Stop boring everyone. I'm going to the New Jersey game on November 1st. I mean, yeah, okay. It starts kicking into gear in November. Jersey, Edmonton, Boston, Montreal, Vancouver. Okay.
Nice. Buffalo's better now. I'll be at the Oilers game on the 3rd.
Nice. I'll probably try to come to that too.
Weegar scores a back-to-back power play goals for Weegar. In the Flyers game, Cotter, they won the game on the power play. That's what secured the win.
An absolute bomb from the point. And again, you saw him doing this. This is one of my main pet peeves with the Flames power play of recent years is they don't push in. They especially when Anderson was manning it on power play 1, he's like as far back from the blue line as possible. Push in. Weegar was doing that. And Hubie and him were playing catch and he was slowly moving in and just freaking got a better angle and rifled it.
The Wranglers, they've played how many games now? 2 or 3?
I think they've played 2.
Did they win their second game?
They won in a shootout. Jeremy Poirier had a sick goal.
I didn't see any stat lines for this game. I know after game 1, they lose 4-3, but Pelche has 2 assists. Roy Kearns has 2 goals, and Bristevich picked up his first AHL point with a primary assist. We're going to be keeping track of the Wranglers all season long, just based on where we're at with this rebuild.
Hello, Mr. Kearns.
Mr. Kearns. What happened in game 2?
Me love you. Me want money, please. Game 2, pretty close game. Devin Cooley was really good. I only saw highlights, didn't watch it live. And they win in a shootout. Pelche had 1 assist.
What was the score?
4-3.
Who scored the goals?
I got to pull it up. I think Kearns scored a goal.
Again?
Did he score? Pretty sure he did.
Just scoring goals like you're going out of style.
It's Kearns! Is it Kearns? I think it's Kearns. I don't know.
Mr. Kearns.
It's Kearns. But Devin Cooley was really good. Do you see him with his pet rabbit?
Is this in Chase, the 3rd episode? I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's good. It follows Cooley around.
Nice.
Dryden Hunt scores the first goal. Pelche got the assist on that. Walker Dewar had a good game too. He had a goal and an assist. Goal scores Hunt, Dewar, Lucas Siona.
Cool. Other notable player, Jacob Battaglia, is lighting it up to start the season. This was 2 nights ago, so I'm not sure if he played since then, most likely, but 2 more goals on Saturday night. 14 points in 6 games, 3rd in OHL scoring.
Is that good?
No, it's great.
I think he's fallen down to 4th in OHL scoring. Just some guys had some game over the weekend, but he's up to, like you said, he's got 7 goals, 8 assists, 15 points in 7 games. I believe he still leads all 20. Okay, Kevin He, Winnipeg draft pick. He's top 2 in all 2024 draft picks in scoring. Dude, that was a sneak. I said it at the time. I love that. I love those 2 second-round picks in Basha and Battaglia. And we're going to do this weekly.
So Battaglia was the 3rd? No, fourth pick.
He was he was the third pick. He was they had 2 second rounders. He was their second.
Well, they had Gridden though.
Second rounder. Gridden was in the first round. Dude, we had 2 first rounders, dude.
Gridden and then
correct.
Basha was the third pick, and then
oh yeah, third. Yeah,
Battaglia was the fourth pick.
Fourth pick, but in the second round.
Second round. And was that our pick or that was somebody else's?
The Gridden pick came from Vancouver. The Battaglia pick came from where did it come from? It came from one of those trades, I think.
Maybe the Tanev one.
Tanev, was it Tanev? Was it yeah, it might have been the Tanev one. Did we get a second or a third for that? I think it was a second. Who else did we trade? Hanifin, Lindholm, Tanev, Toffoli, Zadorov. I think you're right. It was the Tanev one.
Unanimous decision. Huberdeau was the player of the game after game 2, but Dustin Wolf was the unanimous second.
I just want to say we'll do this kind of every week too, like a little prospect roundup. Andrew Basha had 4 assists the other night.
Oh yeah, they were cooking. Hey,
you heard me say 4, dude. He had 4 assists. They were absolutely cooking. Zane Parekh had his first goal of the season, which is an absolute freaking bomb.
His patented from the slot. Little snap show.
That was sweet. Bash is up to 7 points in 7 games. Or 9 points in 7 games, 7 assists, 7 of those being assists. Keep an eye on that.
So, just like game 1, we only had one real qualm. It was Wolf not starting. Game 2, the only real qualm we have is Matthew Coronato. Where in the world is Matthew Coronato?
He's got peas on his head, but
don't call him a pea head.
This really pissed me off.
This really pissed us both off.
Where is this guy?
more in-fight arguing with Flames Twitter.
Where are you supposed to put him? Where are you gonna? There's nowhere for him to slot. How about
you couldn't play him on the fourth line? You can't do that. I mean, so you can't play him at all.
Why can't you play? First of all, there should be a place for him.
There's no spots.
Make a spot. It's your job. 2, why can't you play him on the fourth line? Why? He played on the fourth line last night. His line scored 2 goals. It was pretty sweet.
He looked good last night. That's what I'm saying. I was just like, my biggest argument pushback is just like, you're the head coach of, I always say this, sure, $1 million, semi-billion dollar fucking franchise. Figure it out how to juggle your lineup to get the players that should be in the lineup in. He did it. I'll give him credit. Game 3, Coronato's in, Klapka's out. It was that simple. That's how you fit him in. Just take somebody out.
Put him in.
Rotate him in. Or like we've been pushing for, my whole thing too is like, or move Zari to center. That opens up a wing spot. Plop Coronato in that wing spot. Pospisil, but I guess you can't move Paul. At this rate, you'd have to
get him in there, dude.
I think Huska did exactly what you should do. Just get him in there on the fourth line. Because otherwise, what are you going to do? At this rate, sure, Pospisil on the fourth line with Klapka and
Lombo
would be just, how entertaining would that be to watch? But you can't, at this rate now, after the 3 games that I've seen, I don't want to see Pospisil split up from Hubert. Like,
no, he's not moving. Dude, he's not moving. Dude, he's done the immovable task. Pospisil has, like, King Arthur, like, pulled the freaking sword. He's like freaking, that's the impossible task, man.
He's lifted Thor's hammer, for fuck's sakes.
That's goddamn right. He's done the most impossible task anybody's ever had attributed to. Lindholm couldn't do it. Kadri couldn't do it. Who else? Backlund couldn't do it. They had Sharon Gova. She couldn't do it. Nobody could do it. Pospisil has done it.
Pospisil has done what no man can do.
Huska is good. He's good at the Dumb and Dumber meme where I'm just like, I'm pissed off about a roster decision.
Totally redeems himself.
Exactly. So it's like, totally redeem yourself. Not that I want to see Klapka sit, but I want to see Coronato win, and I don't really care who sits in his absence.
Well, here's the thing too: is like you're trying to make. All we're doing is when we post shit on social media, is to try and make what's right. Coronato should not be sitting. I'm not saying Klapka didn't have a good camp. I'm not saying that he should be on anywhere. He just should be in the lineup.
He's got to be in the lineup for his development. I think he's the one guy who it's like,
Plus, he had a good camp.
He had a great camp, which is what they were preaching. He's got to earn it. He earned it, as far as I can tell.
Led the team in goals,
scoring chances, the whole
shots.
shebang. So I think he did earn it. So then to just sit him and say, well, you earned it, but we no, we can't.
But Klapka's 6'7", so
he's a big boy, so we're gonna put him in. And Klapka probably earned a spot too, but
I don't know. If you had to pick one over the other, just based on earnings, it's Coronado. Just because Klapka's big and mean and he fits well on a fourth line role.
And here's the other thing, similar to with me wanting to see Wolf play because he's such a great prospect and he's got all this pedigree. Coronado's our highest draft pick since Zaneprek was 9. Coronado's the highest. He was 13 overall in 2021.
Bruce Lee's on his head, but don't call him a Lee head.
He is the high profile first round pick that hasn't gotten in the lineup. And I really think he should have.
Point per game player in the AHL.
Point per game in the AHL. And I just look at, like I said earlier, I look at his peers. And I mean, maybe that's unfair because everybody's on a different developmental path. But you look at how good he was in the A. You look at how good his preseason was. I'm watching guys who are drafted in the same draft class as him, like Dylan Guenther. He was picked 3 spots ahead of him at 9 overall. He's leading the league in scoring. Kent Johnson's played a ton. I know those are really high picks. Eklund's played a ton. Matthew Nye's second round pick that year. He's played a lot. Stankoven, Wyatt Johnson. It's just it bothers me when I see.
Didn't Philly have their first overall pick playing against us?
They had Michkov in there. He was from the year before for sure.
Okay, year before, whatever.
But I'm just saying, you look at Dallas and it's they had no problem getting Stankoven and Wyatt Johnson into their lineup last year when they're trying to make a playoff push and they're in the playoffs.
This is what you sent me. I tweeted it. Stankoven and Johnson, both 21 years old.
Yeah.
Same age. Both drafted in the same year as Coronado. Johnson's already played 2 full seasons.
Yeah.
On Dallas, a team that's not in year one of a rebuild.
That's the point.
Stankoven played 24 games last year and 19 playoff games.
Yeah.
Coronado led the preseason in scoring shots and scoring chances and still sits. I thought we were doing the Dallas model.
Yeah. That's the Dallas model. And I mean, exactly like you're saying, why are we not? And again, they're playing Honzik. I understand that. It's not like they're pulling this no kids shit, but I'm just looking at Coronado as a guy who he needs to be playing. It's not even... He needs to be playing in the NHL, in my opinion. He should be, and I think he's good there. I think he kind of gets an unfair rap from last year where people are he struggled. He struggled to put up points. I think he sometimes maybe struggled with the pace and the demands of an everyday NHL schedule. I still think if he had been given a bit longer of a leash, he would have maybe started to emerge a little bit. So just get him in there. He's a high-profile guy who I think has a skill set this team needs. His skating's improved. He's been working on that. He's ready to go. Get him in. There's no excuse for him to be sitting. I think when you're looking at priorities of this year, again, like I said, Wolf number 1, Coronado number 2, in terms of prospects, getting them in, getting them going, getting them on a development track in the NHL.
Again, come back to the vision. 3 years from now is when we want to be really competing. We want Coronado in fucking 30-goal / 40-goal prime. 30 goal, we want him scoring 30 goals 3 years from now.
I mean, they let Zary cook. What? They let
you got Backlund and Coleman on PP too.
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Fucking put Coronado on there yesterday.
They let Zary cook. They let Pelche or Pospisil cook. But part of that was because we were in a different stage that time. We were trying to win every year, right? We weren't thinking about working the stage they're at. What we're trying to do this year. These Coronado should be in the lineup all the time.
Dude, he has to be. He's good enough too. Don't give me this. He's not good enough bullshit.
Yeah, I totally disagree.
He had some of the best underlines last year. So
he had shots per 60. He was doing what he was supposed to do, which is creating scoring chances, and he was doing it decently well last year before they sent him down. And I don't mind them sending him down last year. And listen, maybe ultimately for his development, I just see him and look at his peers, and I think he's best suited for developing in the NHL right now.
100%.
And definitely not sitting on his ass in the press box.
God, that made me so mad in in the home opener when they announced
pissed me off too.
All the people on the bench, and then you go cut to him. It's like, fuck, man, this guy should be playing. So rookie season last year, man. You said he led the team in what?
In the preseason?
No, last year in shot.
Well, he didn't lead the team, but I'm just saying his shot metrics, like shots per 60, scoring chance per 60, especially on the power play. Like he was getting shots, which I think, like if you're looking at a marker of, okay, what's his is he succeeding in the NHL? Is he not? Like he's getting shots off, which is his game. He shoots.
Yep. And that's
he was doing that. So
as a rookie.
I would think with a larger sample size at the NHL level, he'll figure out his game. And again, we saw it in preseason. He looked great in preseason. I know he got banged up a bit. And hey, maybe that's why he's not playing. Maybe he is a bit banged up.
Maybe that's why he's got peas on his head.
Don't call him a pea head. Get him in there. It's of utmost importance.
All right, man. We've touched on it. Let's dabble in a little bit further. This game last night against the Oilers. We kind of anticipated the Oilers coming out the gate slow, just based on they only have 2 players still.
Just based on our pure status as haters.
Like, fucking, we should just change in our bio lines, just Connor McDavid hater. Oilers hate.
Yeah, that's about accurate.
Draisaitl not as much anymore. Right now.
I still, he was whiny last night.
God, he's a whiner.
Still hate him.
So they come with, man, they're not looking great, eh?
Yeah, not too great.
Except for that power play. Power play looks pretty good.
They'll be fine. We all know they'll turn it on and they'll be fine, but
they'll be just fine.
And again, like credit to the Flames last night. Like you said, the Oilers came out. It looked like it was going to be probably one of those nights when they score first. They had those goals disallowed. They kept getting disallowed, which is great. Ballsy challenge by Husk on goalie interference.
So did the rules change? It seems like you can get away with even less now.
Dude,
or did they change it all?
I have no idea.
Because was it the Oilers the night before too? There was a weird callback the night before. No, it wasn't the Oilers, but
bro, there's always a weird callback.
Nobody
knows what the rule for goalie interference is. No one knows.
Dude, even me as a Flames fan,
I thought that was a goal for sure.
I think that's a good goal. I mean,
pretty
Perry's fucking around with him with his stick in his skate, but that's well before the puck even comes near the play. But I don't think that's why they called it off. I think it's because there's any minimal contact at all. I just don't know. I don't know if the rules have changed. The announcers don't ever seem to know either.
Here's the way I view it. If it's a goal call against the Flames, I'm assuming that that's coming back. If it's a goal scored on the Flames, I'm assuming it's going to be allowed. That's generally my consensus. Seems to be
starting to change. I even thought this
last
night. I'm like, is this curse finally like over?
That's never really over.
That's 2 challenges in our favor in one game. When the fuck has that ever happened?
It's never really over.
That was definitely offside. I know we always talk about this. We don't like that call either, but
yeah, it's offside. But I don't like being able to review it. But
I'll take any
way we can beat the Oilers. Sign me up.
I thought Coronado looked good last night. Like you said, he's on for 2 goals. I was scared shitless, man. In the first 3 minutes of the game, I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna be a long night." Like you said, 2 goals called back. Flames took over the game, and Connor and Draisaitl looked tired as fuck.
They sure did, and the Hubie line worked them. The Pospisil line worked them, dude.
That McDavid on the Rasmus Anderson goal, what was he doing?
Dude, that was hilarious. Rasmus made him look like a fool. He just dangled him like 4 times and roofed it. It was sweet. So I guess every time Anderson scores this year, he's going to stare down the fans.
Yeah, he did that in
that was
Vancouver.
Sick, eh?
Now he's doing it in the Oilers. That's like a
celebration.
Just go to the glass and stare at the other team's fans. Hilarious.
I love Rasmus Anderson.
See that back in your good books. Mantha scored an absolute beauty. Like we already talked about this goal. Kirkland.
Dude, this is awesome.
First goal as a pro. First NHL goal ever, right?
Yeah, he's been in the ECHL for 8 seasons.
It was nice that the broadcast did a little focus on him.
It was the Oilers broadcast, so I wasn't expecting much, but that was cool. He was stoked. How stoked was he, man? He couldn't get the smile off his face. That was sweet.
Great little storyline.
Little Costco action.
So after week 1 of the season, the Flames are first in the Pacific.
How many teams are unbeaten? Just us, or is there like one or two? Utah? Have they lost yet?
Jets, Utah. There's a few. We're not the only ones. But first in the Pacific, dude. Who would have had us first in the Pacific after week 1?
Dude, I don't even care about that. The beautiful symmetry of looking at the standings and seeing 3 on the board, 6 points for the Flames, and 3 on the board, 0 points for the Oilers is amazing.
That's all I care about.
So awesome.
Fan base was consensus. Anderson was the player of the game last night, and
I thought he was great.
I've also pulled the fan base who was the player of the week. I got Mantha, Huberdeau, Pospisil, Anderson. Who was the player of the week for you, Michael?
I think the player who's I've been the most impressed with is Pospisil.
Agreed. But Huberdeau was the consensus player of the week.
It's hard to not. He still had that.
You want to love him. You just haven't been able to. So
exactly.
Maybe we're in for what we've just been wanting for the last 3 seasons.
He had that really bad giveaway. Did you see that giveaway he had on the power play? He was trying to tipsy doodle.
He's had a few pizzas, yeah.
He's still prone to that. I'll say Pospisil because I just think every time he's on the ice, dude, if you're saying Huberdeau, I think it's Pospisil's responsible for that at this point, eh?
Yeah, agree. He's reaping the rewards of playing with Pospisil for sure. Zari's also been awesome.
Zari's been great. And again, that's awesome to see that carry over.
And then Mantha's been freaking awesome. And Anderson and Weegar. Those guys have been so awesome. So I don't know, man. Anything else you want to touch on after week 1 here?
No, I mean, it's crazy. Like, I don't expect them to. This is fun. Like, it's been a tough few years, man. If this is the kind of hockey we're going to be getting, physical, mean, pain in the ass, tough to play against, mix in some skill while we're rebuilding. Like, this is exactly what you want. Just play Wolf and Coronado, and if they play those guys, I won't have anything I'm going to play about. What am I going to talk about?
Yeah,
nothing.
The defense looks so bad in game 1.
Oh yeah.
That I was like, man, this is. Whew. But I think they, as a whole, they got better the next 2 games. Maybe not so much in Philly. You're pointing out that they're kind of picking our defense apart, but
yeah, I think Mir Manov has his moments where it's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing out there?
The Oilers had only like 18 shots or something last night.
Dude, the Flames really did a good job, and McDavid only had 3 high danger scoring chances, which I mean for most guys is a lot, but for him it's not that much. Flames hold the Oilers to what, 26 shots, only 20 scoring chances, only 8 high danger at 5-on-5, and the penalty kill was great.
They only gave up one penalty though, right?
Yeah, they only took 1 penalty, which I know Oilers fans were really upset about because they were diving around like it was the Olympic diving tournament. But
Skinner, what a little baby.
They smothered him, man.
Defense looked like it's getting better. I'm really liking Ball and Pahal. Just they play.
I like Pahal, man. I really like Pahal.
Yeah, he plays mean.
I wasn't sold on Ball because like he's the first game. I was like, but he's been a nice partner for Rasmus Anderson.
Rass has been like that game last night. What did Rass have? 3 points last night?
Goal and 2 assists. Yeah, I think so.
His stat line was insane too.
He's freaking great.
His game log was like
3 points, 3 shot attempts. Yeah, he was awesome.
And yeah, we talked about the forwards lots. I think, after week 1, my biggest takeaway is, we've been talking about a lot on this episode, is the identity of this team. It's kind of like a 2-headed beast. We know that the vision is 3 years from now, but we also know, especially the head coach, that's his job. The head coach, Huska's job is to put a competitive product on the ice now, and to do that simultaneously with looking out 3 years into now is like your actual vision when you want to be good. It's a difficult thing to do, but so far he's acing it. Really, is he not?
He's got me on board again, man. As much as I have issues like we've talked about with maybe some of the raw, that's always going to be an issue for me because I'm, like I said, kind of a dick. But if this is what we're going to see, like I said, like good hockey, hard to play against, mean, fun while we're still developing a young team, as long as they stick to the developing the young players. I think Honzik's been pretty good. It's, obviously it's an adjustment to the NHL level regular season.
Well, it's going to be an easy swap when Sharky's healthy again. Honzik send him down, and we'll just keep on fucking banging. Let's go.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out more of our content right here on the Flames Nation YouTube page. We had a bunch of great long-form interviews. You can check out some videos we've done as well outside of the studio. And of course, if you want more writing or merchandise stuff, flamesnation.ca or nationgear.ca. Appreciate you watching.